Hey, how you doing? David Taub here with Epic Guitar Instruction. Hope all's going well, and I hope your guitar and musical journeys are going famously. Today you're going to learn a fun song, A Life of Illusion by Joe Walsh, best known of course for his work with the Eagles, but he also put out a lot of fun tunes solo, and this is from his 1981 There Goes the Neighborhood record. Now you've probably seen this song taught different ways. Some teach it with a capo, some teach it in standard tuning, but it sounds like to me the original recording was in drop D tuning, and that's how you get those really low sounding notes from the low string, like in the lick, all right, that starts the song off. So go ahead and drop your low E string down one whole step to D, and then the rest of the strings stay the same. So low to high we want D, A, D, G, B, and E. And you're only going to need 4 chords to play this song. You're going to need a G chord. Now, when you're playing the G chord, one thing, don't play the low E string. Now, you could play this song with these one-finger bar chords like he does live, but because we're doing this on one acoustic guitar, instrumentation-wise, we want the chords to be as full as possible. When the full band is playing, you know, he has 2 guitars, he has, you know, bass and drums and everything, then he could do that. One finger and another guitar could play it a different way, but to get the most full effect, it sounds to me the best if you use the open chords for these, not the one finger bars. But because we're in drop D, you don't want to play the low E string when you're playing this G chord. So just don't hit the low E string, or just mute it, or take your second finger off. But that's the chord sound. And then you're also going to need a D open, D major, and an A major. And you're going to need this little D chord here also, just 3 strings. Low E, 5th fret A, 4th fret D. And if you could do me a huge favor, please subscribe to the channel. You know, subscribing to the channel, that really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when there's new lessons up. Leave a comment below. Let us know what lessons or what songs you'd like to hear coming up. And if you like the video, please click the like button. Give it a thumbs up, share it, and thank you so much for your support. And composition-wise, the song is just 3 verses and choruses and the main lick that appears throughout the song. I'm going to teach the verse and chorus together because it really helps you to learn the pattern. So the song starts off with that famous intro lick that he does 2 times. Let me play it for you, then I'll go and explain it. Into verse 1. So I'll tab the lick out for you, but basically it's just open low D string, 2nd, 4th fret on that low D string, and then open A. Then go to the 4th fret on that low D string, and then play the 2nd fret on the A string. So far slow. Then open A, open D, and then 4th fret A, 2nd fret D. So far. Then hit together the open A and D strings, and then hop over to that little D chord, and all you're playing here is the open D, the 5th fret A, and the 4th fret on the D. And you're going to do down, up, and then 2 chucks. And you do that 4 times. The last time, I usually just do 1 chuck. And then it goes to that G chord without playing the low D string for the first verse. But you play that intro lick 2 times, and then later that appears again after the first verse, and then it also appears again 2 times after the guitar solo. So now we're into the first verse. Sometimes I can't help the feeling that I'm living the life of illusion, right? Now all 3 verses are pretty much the same progression. It's just the 2nd and 3rd verse, he does the last part of the progression 2 more times. But basically it's the same pattern throughout. The only thing you have to get down is the pattern, because sometimes he's staying on the chords for a full measure, sometimes 2 measures, sometimes half a measure, and sometimes 3/4 of a measure, which I'm going to explain in the strum pattern. Let me play the first verse for you, and then I'll go back and explain the strum pattern. So right from the sometimes, it comes in on time. Sometimes. then it goes back into the intro lick for 2 times. Here's the strum pattern, and we have to get this down because this is going to be the same pattern throughout the whole song. Basically, I'll just finger this G chord. If I slow it down, this is the pattern we need to get down. So the pattern starts off with a down, up, down, chuck. Okay, and then you're going to do a continual series of up, down, chuck. This is really important because this is kind of what keeps going. You want to get that up, down, chuck. Now if you put the first part, which is when it starts the chord, down, chuck, up, down, chuck. Here it is slow. So you just keep repeating that up, down, chuck. Okay? So, on the G chord, you do that 8, basically you could count it's 2 measures or 8 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, then back to the G. 2 for 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, D again for 4. Now A for 2, 1, 2, G for 2, illusion D for 4. Okay, that's the pattern throughout the whole song. Now in the second and third verse, he adds on to it a little bit. He plays the A, G, and D again. Now if you're having a little difficulty with the strumming in this song, or strumming and rhythm in general, I could really help you with that. Click on the link in the YouTube description box below. I'll send you my essential strumming techniques video lesson. It's a long lesson, extended play. It's not on YouTube. I go over different strumming patterns, strumming mechanics. It's a killer lesson, and I pair it with an ebook that has more lessons in it, more exercises. It's a great 1-2 punch. Really get your strumming and rhythm to the next level. Send them both to you for free. Just click on that link below. Then it goes into the second verse. Pow, right between the eyes. You do the same exact progression. And then when it goes to that A, G, and D, then what it does, it just repeats that A, G, and D again. Continual crisis. So, and it comes to no warning. Nature loves her little surprises. That's the A, G, and D part, just like in the first. Then he repeats the A, G, and D. I'll take it right from there and I'll play it twice. And it comes with no warning. Nature loves her little surprises. Same as before, but now you go back to the A again. G, continual crisis. Okay. Also, on that D chord, the last time at the end of verse 2, he only stays on it for 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, then change. Because goes into the guitar solo there, and it leads in back to the G chord. So that second verse is just a little bit longer, and the last chord, you stay on it for 3 measures instead of 4. But that's the only difference. Otherwise, same exact pattern. Now, then it goes into the guitar solo, the slide guitar solo, which is really cool. But if you're playing this on one guitar, obviously you're not going to be playing that solo. You're going to be playing the chords underneath it. So let me play you the chords underneath it. I'll take it right from the end of the chorus on that D chord for 3. Then it goes back into the intro lick for 2 times. So the chords under the guitar solo, what you do is basically you're just going to do 3 downstrokes on the progression on the G chord. Then it goes to the A chord, and the A, you just stay on it for 3. 1, 2, 3, and then back to the G. Every time you go back to the G, just 3 hits. Down, 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 A again. 3. G again. Third time, A for 3. G again. then to the D, and that D is 3 times. You're only staying 3 times for a count of 3 on each of these chords. And then after the D, it goes back to that G, A, G, A, and then G, D. And then the last time you go to the D, it's actually for 4. From the D where it's 3, G to A for 3, G to A again, and then G, D. This D is 4, 2, 3, 4, introlick. Okay? And then verse 3, which is the final verse, and then the song ends. So the difference in verse 3 is he goes to that A, G, D 4 times. And the last time, just kind of, it fades out. So I would just like land on a D chord and just kind of stop. So I'll play this third verse in its entirety. It'll sound like this. And this is the one, hey, don't you know it's a waste of your day, caught up in endless solutions. It'll sound like this. First AGD. Backed up against the wall of confusion. Living a life of illusion. One more time. That's how I would kind of end it. I kind of slow it down. And then just hit the D chord once and let it ring, and that's the end of the song. Hope you enjoyed that song. It's really fun to play on one acoustic guitar, right? Stay tuned. I got tons more killer lessons and songs and content coming. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. And click on that link in the YouTube description box. I'll send you my free video lesson on essential strumming and rhythm techniques and strum patterns, video lesson ebook. Send them both to you for free. And if you have a second, I just dropped a new record with my original band Mind Cell. I'd really love for you to check it out. It's streaming on all the major platforms, as well as you can get the digital record, you can get the CD. I'll put links to all of that below. Check it out. Let me know what you think, and let me know what your thoughts are on the songs or on the production, on the gear I use. If you have any questions on the studio techniques or production, I would love to hear from you, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much for tuning into this lesson, and thank you so much for your support over the years and years. So appreciated. Keep putting those guitars in your hands every day. Keep having fun with them. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. Take care and rock on.